Hello and welcome student to our English class. Today we will be learning a new topic from class 7th unit 3 3.2 A Crow in the House part 1 written by Ruskin Bond. So here we will learn about a story of a crow which was found by a little boy. Student, on your screen you can see the image of our author, that is Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond was born on May 19 in the year of 1934. He was an Indian author of British descent, lives with his adopted family in Landur, Mussoorie, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He was awarded the Sahitya Academy Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dhera, his novel in English. His stories are real life narratives. Much of writings are autobiographical in nature. He is an awarded winning author who writes books on children's stories. His very popular novel called The Blue Umbrella was made into a Bollywood film by the same name, which won the National Films Award for Children in 2007. He started his career by writing for newspaper and magazines. At the age of 16, he wrote his first story named Untouchable in 1951. Ruskin Bond is master of his work, who can create stories from ordinary lifestyle of people living in the foothills of Himalayas. And that simplicity to us all is the power of Ruskin Bond works and word. Student, on your screen you can see the image, means the front cover of few novels which were written by Ruskin Bond. So from this book, one of the famous book is The Blue Umbrella. So students, let's do the summary of this novel, The Blue Umbrella. Summary of the novel The Blue Umbrella. In a small village, Garwal, lives a young girl, Binya. In the village, Ram Bharosa keeps an old shop and sells Coca-Cola with no ice, tea, curd and sweets. One day, Binya receives a beautiful blue umbrella by some foreigners in exchange for her leopard claw pendant. Soon the shopkeeper becomes jealous of the umbrella and tries to buy it from Binya by claiming, "This is a fancy umbrella which small girls should not have." But Binya refuses. As time passes, Ram's jealousy of the umbrella turns into an obsession, and he employs a boy named Raja Ram from the next village to work at the shop. When Raja Ram comes to know about his boss' desire to own the umbrella, He makes an attempt to steal it but fails and gets caught. Rajaram then gave up Ram's name, causing his shop to be boycotted. Ram is now remorseful of his actions and miserable. Binya realizes her showing off the blue umbrella indirectly led to Ram's suffering in the end. Binya willingly gives the umbrella to Ram, who in turn gives her a bear claw pendant. So, student, this was the summary of our novel The Blue Umbrella. So, now let's proceed to our story, that is The Crow in the House Part 1. So, let's proceed to our story 3.3, A Crow in the House. The young crow had fallen from its nest and was fluttering about on the road, in danger of being crushed by a cart or a tanga or seized by a cat. When I picked it up and brought it home, it was in a sorry condition, means bad condition, beak gaping and head dropping, and we did not expect it to live. But grandfather and I, means author Ruskin Bond, did our best to bring it round. We fed it by pressing its beak gently open with a pencil, pushing in a little bread and milk, and then removing the pencil to allow it to swallow. So, new words from this paragraph such as fluttering, moving with a light, irregular or trembling motion. You can see how the crow is fluttering. Crust, deformed, pressurized or forced inwards by compression. Seize, to take hold of suddenly or forcibly grabs. Swallow, cause or allow something, specially food or drink, to pass down the throat gently with a mild, kind, or tender manner. Let's see the explanation part of this para. The author was on his way when suddenly a young crow fell from its nest. It was fluttering and was in danger. It could be crushed by a cart or a tanga, or even may be killed by a cat. The author picked it up, means crow, and brought it at home. The crow was in a very bad condition. No one accepted, means think it would be live, as its head was dropping. The author and his grandfather were paying their best for the recovery of the crow. They gently opened its mouth with a pencil and feed it with bread and milk to be recover fast. So all this thing the author and his grandfather was doing. You can see on your screen that how they found the crow on the rude. With varied this diet with occasional dose of grandmother's homemade plum wine, and as a result the young crow was soon on the road to recover. He offered his freedom, but he did not take it. Instead, he made himself at home in the house. Grandmother, Aunt Mabel, and even some of grandfather's pets objected, but there was no way of getting rid of the bird. He took over the administrations of the house. New words from this paragraph, such as occasional, occurring, appearing, or done infrequently and irregularly. Plum, an oval fleshy fruit which is purple, reddish, or yellow. Recovery, a return to a normal state of health, mind, or strength. Rid of, make someone or something free of an unwanted person or thing. Administration, the process or activity of running a business, organizations, etc. Let's do the explanation part of this paragraph. The author fed the crow with a variety of diet and with grandmother's homemade plum wine occasionally. As a result, this crow began to recover soon and fast. They means author and his family tried to make him means crow flipped or fun, but he did not. Instead, he made himself at home and stay in the house. Means the crow did not want to go out, so he preferred himself in the house. But grandmother, Aunt Mabel, and some of the other pets, means from this line we can observe or imagine that in other house other pets are also there. So other pets they objected of its means crow stays, but these but there was no way. The bird from the house means they took all for granted and not able to remove the bird, means they tried lots of tricky way, but they were not able to remove the bird from the house. But crow started to over the administration of the house, means he took around, means he start seeing what is there in the house, everything. We were not sure that he was male, but we called him as Caesar. Before long, Caesar was joining us at meal time. Beside finding his own grubs or beetles in the garden, he danced about on the dining table and gave us no peace until he had been given his small bowl of meat and soup and vegetables. New words from this paragraph: grub, the larva of an insect, especially a beetle. Beetles, any of an order, means Colopitra of insects, having four wings, of which the outer pair are modified into stiff elytra that protects the inner pair when at rest. Bowl, a round, deep dish or basin used for food or liquid. You can see the image of it. Peace, freedom from disturbance, tranquility. Let's do the explanation part of this para. They name means crow as Caesar. Caesar. Though they were not sure that he was a male crow. Caesar becomes like a family member in the author house. He used to join them at meal as well as find himself his own meal, such as betel, etc. He mostly danced near the dining table until they gave him a small bowl of meat soup and vegetable. Till that, the crow means Caesar, he used to dance on the dining table and starting saying cow, cow like this. He means Caesar. He was always restless, fidgeting about, investigating things. He would hop across a table to empty a matchbox of its content or rip the daily newspaper to shreds or overturn a vase of flour or tug at the tail of one of the dog. You can see this in the screen and how he is emptying the matchbox, then overturning the vase, flower vase, and shredding the newspaper. New words: restless, unable to rest or relax as a result of anxiety or boredom. Fidgeting, to move about restlessly, nervously, or impatiently. Investigating means carry out a systematic or formal inquiry to discover and examine the fact. Shreds mean tear or cut into. Means the he means crow used to tear all the newspaper. Tug at means to pull at the force, vigor, or effort. Let's do the explanation of this para. The crow was very restless and acted like an investigator. He mostly used to hop across the table, empty matchbox, tear papers or newspapers, etc. Overturn the vase flower, was even and even tug a dog tails when he would be in the courtyard. Courtyard means the place in front of the house, near the house. So this mischievousness, this the crow used to do in the author house. That crow will be the ruin of us, grumbled grandmother, picking marigolds off the carpet. Can't you keep him in a cage? We did. Try keeping Caesar in cage. But he was so angry and objected with such fierce cawing and flapping that it was better for our nerves and peace of mind to give him the run of the house. He did not show any inclination to join the other crows in the banyan tree. Newwards grumbled, complained about something in a bad tempered way, furious, having or displaying an intense or furious aggressiveness, cawing, the harsh, grating cry of the crow, raven, etc. Flapping of a bird move its wing up and down when flying or preparing to fly. Inclination, a person's natural tendency or urge to act or feel in a particular way. Let's do the explanation part of this para. Grandmother grumbled and shouted sometime because very much angry and says because when this grandmother saw all this mischievousness of the crow, so she grumbled and shouted and say, he will ruin our life, means destroy our life, and asked if they could keep him in a cage. But the author and grandfather tried to keep him in cage. Means they are giving the explanation to the grandmother. But he was so angry and furious and started making noise of cawing. Means when the author or the grandfather keep the crow in the cage, so he started making noise, cow, 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 and flapping his wing very roughly. For the sake of everyone's peace of mind, they put him out of the house, but he didn't like to join other crow on the banyan tree. Means near the author house, there is a banyan tree, and many crows were sitting and flying on the tree. But this crow, he didn't like to join the other crow. Grandfather said this was because he was really a jungle crow, a raven, a sort, and probably felt a little contemptuous of very ordinary carrion crows. But it seems to be that Caesars, having grown used to living with humans on equal terms, had become snobbish and did not wish to mix with his own kind, means with his own friend, means other crow. He would even squabble with Arnold the hornbill, perching on top of Arnold's cage. He would pick at the big bird's feet, whereupon Harold would swear and scold and try to catch Caesar through the bar. Newart's raven, a large, heavily built crow with mainly black plumage, feeding chiefly on carrion. Probably the quality the quality or state of being probable, the extent to which something is likely to happen or be the case. Contemptuous, showing contempt, scornful. Carrion, the decaying flesh of dead animals. Snobbish, relating to characteristic of or like a snob. Squabble, a noisy quarrel about something. Travel. Hornbill, a medium to large tropical old world bird perch of a bird alight or rest or something. Swear, make a solemn statement or promise undertaking to do something. Scold, remonstrate with or rebuke someone angrily. Let's do the explanation part of this para. Grandfather said that this is a jungly sort of crow and doesn't feel to mixing with other ordinary crows. But the author thought that Caesar has used to living with humans on equal terms and did not wish to mix with other crows, because in previous paragraph we have gone through that in front of the author house there is a banyan tree. So there were many crows, but this crow he didn't like to join with them. He would even ever squabble with Harner. Means this is another bird in the author house, the hornbill. He would pick at the bird feet. Means the crow he is very mischievous. Means very naughty. So what he is doing? He is picking up. He poke with his beak on this big bird feet, whereas Arnold would try to catch Caesar and fight with him. And he tried to catch it, but he was in the cage, means through the iron bar, and weren't able to catch the crow. Evaluation of our part 1, a crow in the house. Fill in the blanks. The author named the crow dash, although he was not sure that he was a male. Answer is Caesar. Dash and grandfather's pet objected of getting rid of Caesar. Answer is Aunt Mabel. Answer the following. What danger were likely to befall the young crow? Answer is the dangers of being crushed by a cart or tanga or seized by a cat on the road were likely to befall the young crow. What was the condition of the crow when author brought him home? Him means crow. Answer. The crow was in a sorry state. Beak wide open and the head dropping. He was unconscious when the author brought him home. Who were the other members of the author's family living in the same house? Answer. The other members of the author's family living in the same house were his grandmother, grandfather, and grandfather's pets. What did Cis do when the author kept him in the cage? Answer is when the author kept Cis in a cage, he objected and showed his anger by cawing furiously as well as flapping his wings and thus disturbing the peace of the house till he was set free. Did the author's grandfather like animals? How do we know that? Give two examples from this excerpt to support your answer. So, this is your personal response, means you are supposed to write. Answer in brief. How did the author and his grandfather treat the sick bird? Answer is, the author and his grandfather looked after the bird with a lot of care. They feed it by gently forcing open its big beak with a pencil and pushing it in a little bread and milk, and then removing the pencil to allow it swallow. They also feed it some dose of grandmother's homemade plum wine. Why didn't Sis join the other crows in the banyan tree? Answer is, Sis did not like the other crows in the banyan tree because he was a raven according to grandfather and would not show respect to the carrion crows. However, the author felt that he had grown used to living with humans and so he did not like to mix with his own kind. Grammar. Find the opposite for the following from the exact. First, captivity. Answer, freedom, motionless, restless. Give the adjective form of the word occasion from the exact. Answer is occasional. Thank you, student.